Hello again, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Tom Nelson. This is a continuation of the video lesson series on homeostasis. This is part 5, how the hypothalamus and the amygdala work. So we've established that your body has set points, and those set points determine the limits of all your bodily functions. So how exactly does your control room control all of this? The hypothalamus and the amygdala can be compared to the sail and a rudder of a sailboat. The wind is the stimulus for change, and the sail, like the hypothalamus, determines the general direction that the boat is going to move in. So adjusting the sail, you can alter the effect of the wind that it has on the vessel. You can increase or decrease the pressure on the sail. And the amygdala is like the rudder of the boat, and it fine-tunes the navigational process. Again, the amygdala complements the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus provides general guidance, and the amygdala refines the instructions to provide more specific direction. So the control center we have been describing is sometimes called the reflex center. It includes the hypothalamus, the amygdala, and many, many miles of nerves and neurons. The hypothalamus functions in a number of ways. The most common is by instructing endocrine glands to produce and excrete hormones that travel in the bloodstream to stimulate numerous bodily functions in response to sensor messages that are sent to the hypothalamus and that's received from all areas of the body. So let's look at an example of this process in action. First, sensors, or the sensory neurons that are located throughout the body, measure the existing condition, which is called the stimulus. Each neuron is designed to monitor one specific function, like body temperature or another to measure your blood sugar level, for example. So again, there are two types of neurons, afferent, which brings signals to the brain, and efferent, which carry signals away from the brain to the organs, the glands, the muscles, or whatever. So you can easily remember which is which by remembering that A comes before E. The afferent, the stimulus, comes first, and then it's followed by the response. So organs, glands, and muscles are the effectors that are going to respond and correct a particular issue. So the response generated by these effectors is going to be called the reflex. So this control center we have been describing is sometimes called the reflex center, which includes the hypothalamus, the amygdala, and many, many miles of nerves and neurons, all as a collection. So the hypothalamus functions in a number of ways. The most common response, or the most common reflex, is instructing some of the endocrine glands to produce and excrete particular hormones that are going to travel in the bloodstream, and they're going to stimulate numerous bodily functions in response to the message that had been received in the hypothalamus from the various sensors. So let's look at an example of this process in action. First, the sensory neurons, the sensors that are located throughout the body, measure the existing condition, which again is called the stimulus. So each neuron is designed to monitor, again, one specific function, like your body temperature or another to measure the blood sugar. So again, there are two types of neurons, the afferent, which brings the signals to the brain, and the efferent, which carry signals away from the brain to the organs, the glands, or the muscles, depending on what is being accomplished. So you can easily remember again which is which by remembering again that A comes before E. Afferent receives the message, and E, the efferent, is the response. So organs, glands, and muscles are the effectors that are going to respond and make a correction to that specific problem or issue. So the response that's generated by these effectors is again called a reflex. Every organ in your body has the capacity to contract, to secrete substances, or a combination of the two. Obviously, your muscles can contract. Your gallbladder contracts to secrete bile fluids into your small intestine. Your stomach will contract and secrete the food from the stomach into the intestines, as well as secreting digestive fluids into the food while it's in the stomach. So your liver secretes numerous substances: cholesterol, triglycerides, glucose hormones, all kinds of things. The liver is a very busy place. It has over 500 different jobs. And your kidneys can secrete waste products into the bladder where it'll be discharged as urine. And this is just naming a few. Your brain, though, is an exception. It's not considered an effector because it does not do anything that does not manifest itself physically. But it does activate other effectors. So your thoughts, for example, are expressed through physical actions or responses. So if somehow the nerves between your brain and a part of your body become damaged, you'll lose control over that particular response. Your body does not connect most of your sensory neurons directly to your brain. Your nerves end in your spinal cord at what's called the synapse, which is a very small gap at the end of each neuron. So that gap controls how information passes from one neuron to another. Synapses, which are those open spaces, occur where the nerves connect with other nerves, as well as where the nerves end or connect to a muscle or to a gland. So neurotransmitters, which can be a lot of things, amino acids or other substances, they allow the message to be transmitted or to jump across that gap to the next nerve or to whatever its destination. And that triggers an electrical impulse. So this special arrangement allows reflex actions to occur very, very quickly by activating spinal motor neurons. There's less delay, and that can be very important because the signal does not have to be routed through the brain before it gets to where it is needed. So your brain will still receive the sensory input, but as the reflex action occurs, the reaction, like say for example, pulling your finger away from a hot stove after you touch it, it's already occurred before the brain even received the response. So that hot stove example explains why it is so very important that a faster reaction is possible. So the types of homeostasis reflexes. There are three types of reflexes: neural reflexes, like your body's temperature control or a reflex action touching something hot, and nerves directly cause an action or a reaction. Hormonal endocrine reflexes, like stimulating the thyroid gland to produce the T3 and T4 thyroid hormones to control your energy and your metabolism and your body temperature, is another example. The body produces hormones that activate specific activities. So the hormones are secreted into the bloodstream and they travel to the intended destination. So an instant response time is not going to be critical. So the neural hormonal endocrine reflexes are like controlling fluid levels in your body. Control is effected through a combination of nerves and neurons and hormones. So now go to homeostasis part 6, how homeostasis controls your body's temperature. Thank you for watching this video, and please pay it forward. Thank you very much.